Boner Bomb, starring Jason Statham.
If there's been one constant over the past quarter century in the action film genre, it's Jason Statham. Starting with 1998's Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, he has starred in, a ton of action movies. He's been a regular in several series, like the Expendables series, the Fast and Furious series, the Meg series, the Transporter series, and in between those, he's made a ton of other action films. Now, some of these movies, they're really great. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, The First Transporter, The Beekeeper from last year. These are all really well done action movies, but then there's been, Expendables 4, the Meg series, Death Race, some of the Fast and Furious films, some of them are just too over the top and stupid for me.
And that's a hard no for me.
No, for me too.
Now, this past weekend gave us his most recent release, A Working Man. So, what do we have here? Where do we place this? Is this one of his really good action films? Fun, great movie? Or is this, one of those, you watch it on Netflix and you forget about it the next minute? Well, before we answer that, let's talk a little bit about the plot for the film A Working Man.
Adam, let's chat.
So here we find Levon Cade. He's a former Royal Marine commando. He's given up the military life, and he's now a construction worker. He works with the Garcia family. He is their foreman, very close to all of them, especially their teenage daughter Jenny, who looks up to him. However, one night Jenny and her friends go out, and she is suddenly snatched and taken away. The family is despondent. They turn to Cade for help, but he initially refuses. However, remembering a promise he made to Jenny, he decides to use his skills to try to find her. But it's not going to be as easy as you may think, because the people who have taken Jenny are powerful and dangerous. So now, Levon has to use all of his skill and cunning to try to get Jenny back home alive to her parents. So what works in this film? Well, I gotta give it to him. Even at 57, Jason Statham still has it. He looks great. He moves well. He doesn't look out of step or out of place. When the scenes call for action, he answers the bell. He's never your strongest of actors, but he is very good at what he does, giving that kind of laid-back, dangerous performance. A man of few words. Also, I did enjoy the fight choreography in this. If you're going to have an action movie, you got to have good fight choreography. Finally, your villain. You were using the Russian mob in this one, and they're very formidable, very dangerous, very psychotic at times. It makes for some good scenes.
Sounds fun.
What doesn't work, however, is... Okay, did you see the movie Taken? That's a pretty cool film from back in 2008. This doesn't borrow from Taken. This is Taken. It's the exact same plot, except it's not the main character's daughter, it's his friend's daughter. So, you can't give it points for originality. Secondly, it's a bit long for an action movie. Starts pretty strong and ends really strong, but man, does it drag in the middle. It just kind of loses your interest for a long stretch. And finally, I think this would have worked better as like a B movie. This movie takes itself way too seriously. Last year's Beekeeper, it was over the top, but I never got the sense that it thought it was reinventing the wheel. This comes across as pretty heavy, and it just doesn't warrant it, especially since everything about this movie we've seen before. It's assembly line action. So The Working Man is what it is. It It attempts to be a grounded vigilante crime thriller, but it kind of falls flat too much. The plot's flimsy, we've seen it all before, it has some haphazard execution, but Statham's really good in it. When we do have action scenes, they're great. I would not put this in the category of one of his great films, but it's definitely not one of his garbage ones either. I would say that this movie falls right in the middle. It's a solid but unspectacular Jason Statham action movie. Not a theater experience. Definitely that perfect, hey, I want to watch a mindless action film tonight. What's on? Oh, The Working Man. We'll watch that. So, see it. Just don't run out to see it.
Exactly. Not bad, but not great.
And that's all I have for you this week. Tune in next week where I give you my thoughts and feelings on whatever I've seen. In the meantime, click that like button, subscribe, turn your notifications on, leave a comment or a question, share this video with friends and enemies alike, and as always, thank you for giving me your valuable time, and I will see you next week. Take care.